Greetings, it's Evan. Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful 8 podcast. In today's episode, I'm taking a step back to raise my awareness to all that is happening in the event stream here and now. And one thing that I've really learned about is it's important to shield yourself from all the things happening in the world. But when it affects you and your current reality, then you have to start taking a stand. And right now, November 5th, 2025, there's a lot happening on the geopolitical front. It's been happening for a while now. And this video isn't going to be doom and gloom. It's actually going to be the quite opposite. Because empires, they rise and fall, right? This whole existence is very cyclical, and it's a hologram. This is a holographic universe. We know that it's a plasma universe. And once we start grasping the concept of how this is a plasma universe and the law of assumption is real, what we assume will manifest over time, we understand that that's happening on a collective level. And so the things that are happening in the world that you may see through news channels and through friends and family, yes, it's real only to a certain extent because you believe it's real. Now, we're getting into the woo-woo. We're getting into dark magician stuff, right? Harry Potter stuff. This is exactly what's happening right now. And it always leads to war and death and destruction. And now I'm making this video because I'm answering the call to really step up and to speak out on these types of things. It's time to take a stand. My motto for 2025 was endeavor to survive and thrive in 2025. And I've been doing exactly that. And we're just getting started. But it's really important to listen in to this video, especially to the youth, the men and women who are my age. If you feel that urge to start, leaving a better world for our children and their children and the generations that follow, now's the time. Because America is at a 250-year cycle. Come next year, we will hit our 250-year cycle. And empires usually take around 250 years to rise and fall. I don't know what America's going to look like years from now. There's an infinite amount of timelines that we can all collectively manifest. That future state, it's up to us. And yes, every single day, maybe because I'm not reaching out to as many people as I should be on a day-to-day, I do feel like I'm alone in this battle. I know maybe one to two people from my perspective of reality, which is poor, analyzing that, who are really taking a stand on building a new earth. But listen, right now in my current reality, because I know I'm going to reflect on this months, years to come, look, if we have another Black Swan event, another coronavirus event, if we have that COVID-19 pandemic again, think about how people are going to react. And it's no secret that plasma is very interesting to me as of late. Why? Because that's the next Black Swan that's to come. These drone swarms happening above Jersey in the East Coast a year ago in November, December, those drone swarms are now happening in Europe. Why? More data mining to see how the public would react? That's how I see it. Why? So they can pull off a perfect sky event? That's a little bit far-fetched. But here's the thing. We're at that point where we have to start talking about these things. Truth be told, and from my perspective of reality, and I've, lived a good life, traveling Europe and traveling the South Americas. And yeah, it may not, those individuals across the world, they're living the good life. They are. But it's because they've cultivated such a life for themselves where they're not worried about what's happening in the event stream. Because remember, dark magicians are manifesting this for humanity. That's why people think of like puppet masters. All of this exists. But it's now time to us, the youth, to really take a step up and ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want to leave for our kids? That's what I've really been thinking about as of late. So this video is about how, if this next event happens, well, I always say the war has been won, right? Then again, there are no winners or losers. It's all about transcending duality. But, how can everybody at the table get a seat? And that's what I've been thinking about. Listen, these drone swarms, not normal, okay? But it's becoming the normal. And because it's becoming the normal, we should be talking about it. We should be doing the research on what exactly is going on here. Because this sky event, that from my perspective is what the end game is, it's not going to work. Here's the thing. That's in the future. It's in the future state. But I'm believing and I'm assuming it's not going to work. It's not. It's not. Then we've already won. Look, two things that I'm super passionate about, incredibly passionate about: creating videos, documenting my life, and traveling. That's my genius zone. That's my passion, to be able to travel the world and to be able to create videos and to put those videos online and to save them for my kids to look at. What was Dad doing when he was 23 years young? I was doing this. Now, if there's a black swan that takes away either of those two things, that's a big problem. And I feel we're heading towards that. Number one, traveling. If a government shutdown says, hey, you can't travel anymore, it's a big red flag. Flags don't get redder than that, right? They don't want you traveling the world and meeting with other people and cultures around the world. They don't want you to do that, because the more you travel, the more you expand your mind and you get out of the box that's within the box that's within the box. And you feel the problems from everybody else across the world. And you feel the cultures and the food and the people. You might fall in love in a country you've never even been before. But if you have a certain government take that away from you, the ability to travel, that's a red flag. That's number one. Number two, take away social media, free speech. That's like the foundation of how all of this is working. And that's why I'm so interested in dark journalism and light journalism, right? Doing the deep work into mystery schools and Atlantis and learning from Rudolf Steiner and Edgar Cayce and all these other incredible individuals. Saint Germain, furthermore, in the I Am discourses and the I Am series. Look, it's real. I feel it, that it's real. And it's for a very definite reason. We're here. The Aramonic force, AI, technocratic future. It's not a couple years from now. It's happening right now. Things have gotten so weird that we have to talk about it. Now remember, those two things, traveling and being able to document online, to have free speech online, those are foundational things. And think about black swan events. Travel, drone swarms. You can't travel because there's drone swarms and we don't know what they are. Sky event, that's all what it's for. Take that away, that's a really big problem. And also understand 0-point energy. Certain types of planes, picture that future. Hold the vision of planes that we don't necessarily use right now are being used in black projects, faster than light travel. All of that exists. That's being held from the public. Keep that in mind, right? So drone swarms, you can't travel, airports shut down, red flag. You can't travel the world and meet people that you're supposed to meet because you learned something from them and they learned something from you. That's a big no-no. And we have to be speaking out about that because that's happening right now. And then free speech. Usually, cyber attack and coronal mass ejections from the sun can really, disrupt technology. And some of that we can control. But to be censored online about certain things, like the UFO file, what really went on with JFK's assassination, all of that is like, that's the end game, because it all ties back to what? Plasma, 0 point energy, and 0 point technology. It took me months to research this, and I'm putting it all online now because people have to take it, digest it, and do something with it. And what an honor, you know? Do something with your life, right? Why would you want to sleep? There's so much going on. Your future is being taken from you. So, with all of this in mind, be very aware. Awareness architecture. Anchor your awareness on drone swarms, sky event, UFOs, UAPs. It's a red flag if governments say you can't travel because X, Y, and Z, because of drone swarms. Big red flag. Remember Northcom, Operation Homeland Synchronizer, all of that happened in November and December. Year later, it's now happening in Europe. Time to ask questions, because it's happening. Okay? And yeah, continue documenting your journey, because that's the best part, right? What a revolution. But remember, this is a bloodless revolution. We're not going to war for men and women in suits and jackets. War is silly. Very, very silly, because we just reincarnate time and time again. So no war. Use the greatest gift that you've been given, your voice, and use it for the highest good, because now is the time. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. Have a beautiful day.